an entrance to 105 at this location, and an entrance to 105 at this location. Firefighter Geiger from Midi 4 took a line off engine 12 and went to this location. There was a fence here. When he got to this location, he could see the civilian and Mr. Jeffrey Brown standing in his rear door. He also could see Lieutenant McMimney. When he came to this location, Mr. Brown told Geiger, "Get ready, we're all going." He then turned, reached in his door, and lit his lighter.
Well, he was never within my vision. I got just to the rear corner of the house, which would have put me just a few feet from him, but he was still around the corner, so I didn't get to see him, and at that point the place exploded.
Firefighter Polowitz from Engine 12 was at this location. A large portion of the house was found at this location, in the street and in the front yard opposite 105. After investigating what exactly where each firefighter was at the time of the explosion and what he witnessed, we now realize that the dormer and the top half of 105 Jersey Street flew over Firefighter Polowitz's head. Firefighter Polowitz was blown from this location to the grass at this location by the force of the explosion.
Well, it shook me up. I don't think I realized it right away, because then once that thing blew, which I had my back to it, and I know stuff had hit me in the back and everything else, and I moved quick, you know, and even going back over, like when we walked by it later on, there was a big piece of wall laying right where apparently I was, but I must have either went over me and I landed near it, or it landed right after I hit the ground and rolled over, or what, because I moved fast. You know, I don't think you realize how fast you move until something like that happens. And like I say, it was just it was almost, the sound was like a big paper bag when you blow it up and pop it in your hands. It's all I could hear on, you know, behind me. My ears went back like a dog's would go back when you hear, you know, noise. And then right after that, everything started happening. Everybody started running and looking for somebody else and grabbing lines. And at first, right after that thing blew, it was awful quiet. You know, it was like the lull before the storm. And then right after that, then all hell broke loose, and we had fire behind us, fire in front of us, up the house, you know, guys pulling lines, and it was getting kind of chaotic there for a while. You know, hope we don't go through that again.
There was nothing just prior to the explosion. I mean, it just happened. All of a sudden, the building just let go. I didn't know that there was a man standing in the driveway with a lighter or a match in his hand, because I couldn't see him. All I knew is the building blew up. And like I was telling you earlier, it was like being in slow motion. To me, it was like being in slow motion, seeing this house come apart right before your eyes. And I'd never seen anything like that before. And I hope I never see anything like that again.
When the house explodes, firefighter Battaglia, the driver of Engine 12, radios the dispatcher that there's been an explosion, sending more ambulance personnel. The ambulance personnel on the street have now been blown onto the street. They're badly shaken and injured. The police are badly shaken and injured. Also, RG&E personnel are badly shaken, and some of them with minor injuries. Battalion 3 Chief Malone is not on the scene yet, but hearing Engine 12's report calls for a second alarm assignment.
While I was responding to that fire on Jersey Street, I heard Engine 12, they both gave a code 9, Engine 12, Quint 4, Midi 4. And next thing I heard was the driver of Engine 12, firefighter Gene Battaglia, yelled that the building blew, and he needed ambulances. At that time, I was on Garson Avenue, a little bit beyond Webster. I was pretty far from the scene. I felt no concussion, and I heard nothing. I immediately pulled the hook, second alarm, because I knew we had a very serious problem at that time. And as I approached the scene, Engine 12 was in the process of trying to stretch some lines. Water at that particular time was a problem, and that was because they were more concerned with the rescue. When I went by the building that blew, the building was gone. There was nothing left of the building but maybe 6-8 feet of chimney. The front and the back had blown, one across the street and the other one beyond the garage, 60, 70 feet away. There was fire coming from the burning rubble, and from what I could see, I pretty much presumed we were going to have somebody, firefighters, dead or seriously injured. I've never seen anything that devastating before.
The second alarm assignment brings water into the scene from Garson and from Cedarwood and from Garson Avenue. The hydrant in front of the house that Engine 12 had made is completely buried in debris. There's a tree at this location, a light post at this location. This hydrant is buried and no longer can be seen by the firefighters on the scene. When the explosion occurs, the force of the explosion breaks Quint 4's front windshield. Lieutenant General Corps, firefighter Smith and Elliott, bring a line to this direction. They find Mr. Brown standing in the backyard, totally in flames. They charge the line. Lieutenant General Corps orders firefighter Smith to put Mr. Brown out. It takes 2 attempts to bring Mr. Brown under control. Firefighter Geiger, when he heard Mr. Brown state that, "Get ready, everything's going," he could smell the gas in the area. They said, "The first alarm assignment told me that the smell of gas in the area permeated the entire street and the entire area." He did not have his face piece on, but he did bring his face piece up to his face with his hand. He received third-degree burns on the back of his hand when he did that. He was knocked down and injured in this location with hands and face burns. Lieutenant McMiminy was buried under the debris approximately in this location, standing at the corner of the house. Lieutenant General Corps has Smith put out Mr. Brown. Geiger comes back to his feet and tells, although he's badly injured, gets back on his feet, helps Lieutenant General Corps with this assignment, and tells Lieutenant General Corps that Fire Lieutenant McMiminy is buried under the debris in this location. General Corps then tells Smith to put a cover line on this location. General Corps with firefighter Elliott go in to rescue Lieutenant McMiminy. At this time, there's a secondary explosion.